basically hundreds of straws to form a perfect body. I find Simon Espinal, known as the best weaver alive today, working from above. Like a god creating a white body, modest and silent, engrossed in this painstaking and periodic activity, he continues his ancestors' tradition.
Yo por lo menos en un sombrero de esto, por lo menos un sombrero fino, hay que tener paciencia, hay que estar tejiendo para que aumente, si no, no levanta el trabajo. Y con el trabajo uno hay que hacer todo lo necesario posible para poder sacar adelante a la familia. Y un sombrero de esto a veces no alcanza. Pero no, a mí me gusta este trabajo, siempre me ha gustado este arte, que es un arte, una maravilla, para mí es un arte.
Simon doesn't even know what treasure he is weaving.
¿Cuánto valen ahí en Europa y los Estados Unidos?
No sé, pero no sé cuánto más o menos pueden vender un sombrero.
His masterpieces are sold for at least £2,500 in the first world. In contrast, the weaver earns on average a tenth or less of the selling price, about £50 a month. It's not surprising that more weavers abandon their noble calling for work on the assembly line. Simon knows that it's difficult to change the course of events, but he dreams of a glorious future for the hat.
Yo tengo tres, y todos tres ellos ya, los dos ya saben bastante. Yo siempre le digo a ellos que aprendan, porque para ellos, lo que van a aprender ellos no es para mí, sino es para ellos mismos. Que ellos sepan valorar un trabajo y que le enseñen este trabajo para que este arte pues no se decaiga, se siga adelante. A que este arte sea un sombrero conocido en todo el mundo, de que lo conocen. Para nosotros sería una maravilla que alguien viniera y conocieran a nuestra comunidad y llevaran nuestros sombreros, si posible el nombre de la persona quien hace este trabajo, y que se sientan orgullosos de que los reconozcan a nivel de todo el mundo quién es la persona que hace y ha hecho ese sombrero.
And then the sun goes down. After 8 hours of working, his back and legs are calling for a break. Simon started to weave this hat almost 4 weeks ago. He has added half a centimeter today, and it will take him at least another 2 months to finish it. After saving the little remaining water for tomorrow's weaving and covering the hat to protect it from dust and insects, I ask Simon if it doesn't hurt to sell the hat after working on it for so long.
Claro, sí sería bueno dejarme uno para que de repente tenerlo yo ahí de recuerdo y sentirme orgulloso de mi trabajo, de decir, este es mi trabajo, mi pulmón, que era para... Lamentablemente no se puede, porque no alcanza.
Even I feel sad that this hat will crown a new master's head with marvelous lightness and purity, while Simon is left with the shadow of memory and the gifted fingers to create the next unique hat. Still surprised that the finest straw hats in the world are born in a dreary corner like Pile, I reach the next remote village, El Arromo, the Garden of Eden. Here is the place where the straw for the hats is cultivated. The plant is called toquilla and only grows in Ecuador, in the climate of the rainforest. Arturo Pico is returning from his daily trip to the toquilla plantation. To get there takes him 2 hours with a mule, and he needs another 2 hours to cut around 90 shoots of the toquilla palm tree.
Mucho mosquito. Moco también hay, moco, pica. Mucha plaga. De los ríos que venimos. Donde gritan los monos. Allá hay bastantes monos, animalitos que gritan durísimo.
Arturo's whole family starts to work. They have to separate the soft pale leaves from other sick parts, which have to be thrown away. The sheaves of silky ribbons are boiled now for a couple of minutes, in the water the family has brought from the river, for the straw and also for themselves. They tell me El Arromo has neither running water nor any other kind of paid work. The straw plantations and some fishing are all that sustains the tiny village. I admire Arturo and his family for the patience with their job. They watch over their straw tirelessly and separate every single ribbon carefully. If they stick together, they would become unusable. Arturo's roll is long and thankless. With one dried bunch he doesn't even earn 1 penny. If it is a good day, he prepares around 1,000 bunches and makes 5 pounds. Often it's less and he earns only 1.50. But although he's swearing non-stop, he doesn't moan about his job. Then the work is done for the day and he prepares his machete for the next morning. Before I leave, I give him $5 as a gift for his large family and to make sure that he's waiting for me the next morning to go together to the Toquilla plantation. But when I come back, I see that Arturo didn't spend the money to buy something to eat for his 8 kids. He's totally drunk, and I make the trip with his cousins Juan and Roberto instead. The stalks of the Toquilla plants are adorned with leaves that spread out like a fan. It is these leaves which are cut to turn into straw hats. In Ecuador they are called cogollo.
Este es el cogollo que mochamos. Este es el cogollo pa.
They are harvested throughout the year, but the time of cutting is important. The shoot must be young and at the same time already firm.
Este es para amarrar la paja, pero da bulto grande, ya 2 mazos, 3 mazos.
Finally, Juan and Roberto transport the booty, including the breakfast for the family, to their house.
Ahora levantamos. Vea. Ahí estamos. No cargamos caballo. No tenemos caballo aquí.
Since generations, the work with the green gold is rather a survival strategy than a tribute to the hat. But Arturo's family knows that the roll determines the future quality of the headpiece. Only the best straw turns into hats from pile, finer than linen, while the coarse straw is sent to the Andes, where the lower quality hats are woven. I follow the Panama Hats trail across this country of endless contrast. I leave the coast and reach the Sierra. These two parts of Ecuador, which are normally displaced by geography and culture, are connected through a love-hate relationship due to the hat. I'm pleased to meet all these gracious people, but it grieves me that the hat's glamour abroad doesn't illuminate the weavers' lives in Ecuador. It feels as if the famous and superficial face of the hat is actually condescending its noble soul. Do the sellers in the first world not understand that paying an appropriate price destroys Ecuador's tradition and thereby the seller's business? Then I discover that at least in the Andes region around the city Cuenca, the straw hat has a different status. Several thousand weavers are living in little villages like Siksik. The majority are women. Behind almost every door I knock, I find mothers and daughters united with their heads. Weaving is still the perfect activity for housewives. They tell me that a woman normally finishes one hat within 1 day and sells it for a miserable $2.50 to a middleman who brings the hats to Cuenca. Set at an altitude